No, man, but you got to keep going. What am I going to do, quit? That's not an option. You got to keep on keeping on. Life's a garden, dig it? You make it work for you. You never give up, man. That's my philosophy.
Hey, gardeners. Thanks for joining with us today. It's great to have you here. I hope you're having a great week out in your garden. I'm out here checking out our peach tree, and as you can see, it's got all sorts of blooms starting to pop out everywhere. There's a few more just forming and getting ready to open up. Hopefully we get lots of great fruit forming out of all of these blossoms. But yeah, what a great time of year to see all of these flowers in full bloom. Right on. We've got a great show for you today. We've got Christy Wilhelmi with us, along with One Arizona Garden. So all right, everybody, let's get growing. All right, of my passionate plant people and garden enthusiasts, welcome to the Let's Get Growing show here on the Urban Gardener channel. I'm Enoch. I'm your host today. We've got a great show ahead for you today. Joining with us here, as I mentioned just a second ago, we've got Christy Wilhelmi from the Gardenerd joining with us here just a little bit later on the show. We've got a fun little announcement about something coming up for her as well, too. We have Sophea from One Arizona Garden joining with us here as well, too, coming up just a little bit here for our Are You Following Me segment. So definitely join in and check out our show coming up here. And if you can too as well, let's go ahead and do this here right at the top of the show. In fact, let's get into our chat here. Actually, let's mention here, we got roll call coming up here, and I want to make sure that y'all are jumping in there and letting us know where you're growing from, what you got growing on in your garden. So definitely let us know you're here. And also, let's click that like button, hit the thumbs up. Let's also subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Bell notification to be notified of all of our upcoming live streams. We've got lots and lots of great shows still ahead for you coming up in 2026 here on the Let's Get Growing show. And because of that, you definitely want to share with all of your garden friends out there and let them know about what we've got growing on around here on the Let's Get Growing show so that they can come and get in on the conversation as well too. So that's so definitely do that. Share with your friends and let them know. Also, we are your 3-day gardening weekend here too. That's right, 3 days of garden talk here on the Let's Get Growing show. Of course, we're here every Saturday and Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern. And right now, I think that's 6 p.m. For all of you over in the UK as well, too. I know you haven't hit your time change yet. So I think it's 6 p.m. right now. And then, here in a few weeks, it'll jump up to 7 for all of you. But thank you definitely for joining with us there. And also, we're here, like I said, 3 days. We're going to finish your 3-day gardening weekend with the green room on Monday evening now. We're here at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I'm sure it's a bit late in the evening for all of you over in the UK, but thank you, everybody, for coming and joining with this really fun show with Natalie, the Fresh Princess, our co-host. We've had some really awesome, amazing guests over the last several weeks. We got another great show coming up for you this Monday as well. I'll mention all of that to you here just a little bit later on, so stay tuned to hear about what we have growing on for those shows coming up. Also, big, huge shout out to all of you who are joining with us on the replay. Thank you so much for joining with us on your time. It's great to have you here with us. And definitely, like everybody's doing here live, jump into our comment section down below. Let us know you're here. Let us know what you got growing on and where you're growing from, or just drop in and say hello. I definitely love seeing all of the great comments coming in after the show is over from all of you who join with us on the replay. So again, thank you so much. And if you are here with us live, like I said, the roll call, we got to get in for roll call coming up here in just a minute. Also, join in the conversation with everybody else as well too in the chat. And if you have any questions or comments, definitely drop those in there as well, and we'll try to answer those questions. Especially drop in some questions for our guests coming up as well too. It's always great to be able to ask our guests your questions as well too. That's what makes it so fun to be here with us live, is you get to join in with the conversation here on the show. And then definitely follow all the links down below in the description to our guests. They got channels and pages and all that sort of stuff. Go and check out what they've got growing on. And if you can, go and leave them a comment somewhere and let them know that you saw them here on the Let's Get Growing show. I love it when you guys take the opportunity to do that and show some support, not only for our guests taking the time to be here with us this weekend, but also to support our show as well too. So it's a great way to do that. Nice free way to do that as well too. Excellent, everybody. So thank you all so much for being here. It's great to have you all here again. I hope you all have had an opportunity to get something going for your 2026 garden this year. It's about that time for me. I'm trying to catch up on a bunch of garden chores and things that I need to get done. It seems week by week, I get a little bit further behind, but we've got an amazing week ahead of us coming up. When we talk about weather and all of that, it's kind of been, again, up and down. We all know about false springs that pop up in all of our different locations that we live in. We got to go through these warm periods, and I've got one, and I was just reading the other day for us over here on the West Coast. I guess it's what they call one of those things they call the heat dome. So there's a heat dome that's basically coming over us here over this next week, and my next week looks just amazing as far as weather is concerned. We're going to reach nearly 80 degrees over a few days this next week, so I'm going to be looking forward to that. I'm going to be getting out early and doing some of the work and try to catch up with as many of these things that are on my garden chore list as I can, and start knocking those things out as much as possible this next week, as the weather's just going to be perfect for it. So I'm gonna have to set some other things aside and just really dedicate my time to getting some things done and going and growing in the garden space here coming up. So again, I'm really looking forward to that too. It's that really prime time, and we always look forward to what we've got coming up and what we get to grow and all of that sort of stuff when it comes to the new gardening season. But it's really that time when the weather's changing enough where we can really just get out there and enjoy our time out there in the garden space, and really, like I said, knock some things off of those garden chore lists. So hopefully you all are going to be getting an opportunity to be able to do that as well too coming up here in your garden. I know for a lot of you living up north, still dealing with some cool weather. So hopefully things start to change for you here real soon. In fact, it's just a week away from spring. The official first day of spring's coming up here just in a few days, a little less than a week, I think. And so hopefully spring will be showing up for a lot of you up in the northern climates. And of course, I know all of you down in the southern climates as well, where it's nice and warm. You're already doing lots of things in your garden, probably harvesting things already up out of your garden spaces too. So hopefully, again, everything's really growing well, and you're getting an opportunity to really do some real fun things in your garden space for this 2026 growing season. Right on. Yeah, I got a lot I got to get done, but again, looking forward to it for sure. So right on, everybody. Let's go ahead and jump into our comments. I see we've got lots of folks already in the comment section right now. Remember, get in there. Let us know where you're growing from, what you got growing on, because it's time for roll call.
My name is Kevin.
Yeah.
That is my name.
Yeah.
They call me Kevin.
Yeah.
Because that's my name.
Roll call.
All right. Let's jump into the comment section here and see who we've got joining with us. today on the show. And of course, we got to start off our roll call saying hello and a big thank you as well too to our good friend the J-Bot in the discussion right now, joining us from Midwestern Ontario, Canada. And keep an eye out in the chat as Jay drops in links and all of that for all of you throughout our discussions today. And if you do have a channel, a small garden channel or that out there, and you haven't had a shout out here on our Let's Get Growing show too, definitely drop in and let us know about your channel as well too. And Jay will drop a link so everybody can go and check out what you've got growing on in your gardens. So let's see here, and see Bowtie Life in the Garden here joining with us as well too, and excellent to see him there. He says, we just got home from the Pearls and Pop-Ups event here in Destin, and it was awesome. Well, excellent. That's really great. Got to get out and have some fun out there. Really great to see you there. Let's see here. I see we got Sean the gardener joining us from Cornwall, England. Thank you, Sean, for being here. Great to see you here with us on the show. It's great. And let's also say hello to EE2201. Good afternoon. Love the show. Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here with us. Really great to have you here. And we love having you here with us. So thank you so much. It's really great to see you, as well as Frank. We got Frank in the conversation as well, too. Excellent to see you. Awesome, awesome. And we got Dusty Flats in there. Just hanging out for the next weather event. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be quite an event for us this week, as we're going to be dealing with some nice warm weather. Good warm weather is always nice to see. And again, with all of that though too, I think it kind of falls into another one of those kind of false spring categories as well too, because we'll get this nice warm weather, and then what I saw afterwards, it's going to dip back down in there, and you never know what's going to happen around here, especially for us in Southern Oregon. It could turn around and start snowing on us again or something, but I don't know. I'm hoping we've kind of turned that corner a little bit, and we're on our way to some really good weather coming up. And I see we got our other moderator, Adam, joining with us in the conversation too. Great to see you, Adam. And he's just right up the road from me here in Southern Oregon in Central Point. So again, Adam, thank you for being here. Thanks for helping out. It's great to see you. And let's see who else we got in here. We've got Trolled Garden here joining with us. I'm Trude from Moss in Norway. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. It's great to see you. Excellent. Love to see folks from Norway too. We got our good friend I'll be talking about here too, coming up here next week from Norway. One of my good buddies here in the garden community, Christopher Bransdal. He's from Norway as well. So little teaser of who we got coming up here soon. I'll be talking about that here in just a little bit on the show. And this is EE says they're from Ohio. Excellent. Great to have you here. Thank you so much for being here with us. And we also got Outlier Gardener joining with us here from Los Angeles. Excellent. It's so great to have you here with us today. Great. Thank you so much for taking your time to join in and check out our chat today. It's good to have you here. And let's see here. We got Look to Nature Homestead, Mikey D from Pennsylvania, 6B7A. And look at that, chilies, onions, ginger, and turmeric are sown, planting some good King Henry this afternoon. The Pheasant's Asparagus, which provides you with a spinach alternative. Excellent. I don't think I've heard of that one. I'm going to have to check that out. It's always good to have a good spinach alternative. And hopefully that's a good one too, again, for a little bit warmer weather too, because spinach, as we know, is one of those ones. It's great to grow. I love it. It's one of my favorite greens, but that stuff just loves to bolt. It's really quickly. So as soon as it just turns any sort of warm weather, those things like to go right to seed. So Right on. We got Darth X joining with us and says, I want to get seeds for good King Henry at some point. Yeah, I got to check that out, get some seeds myself. Sean says, I was determined to get ahead this year, but things are piling up now. Yeah, I had that same determination. I think I have that same determination every single year when it comes down to it. But as gardeners, we all know we want to grow anything and everything when it comes down to it, the list of things that need to get done can start piling up very, very quickly. And Outlier Garden says, look forward to the live with Christy. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Christy's joining with us here just a little bit later on the show. Can't wait to talk with her and catch up about what's been growing on with her. And like I said, she's got a fun little announcement too as well coming up. We'll talk about too coming up. All right, and we got Rob from Rob's Allotment Gardening joining with us from over in the UK as well too. And hope you've had a great week as well too, Rob. Thanks for being here with us. It's always great to see you in the chat, along with Habitual Hobbies, who was on the show just a little bit ago too. So definitely on our green room. Thank you so much for being here, joining us from South Missouri, 7A. Awesome. And then Outlier Garden says, had the pleasure of meeting Gardenerd over a decade ago and love her channel. Oh, yes. Christy's awesome. I've got to meet her several times at the National Heirloom Exposition back when they were doing that in California and everything. Christy's really awesome. Really great author. She's written lots of great books we'll talk about later on as well, too. Let's see here. Make sure we're not forgetting anybody in the chat here for our roll call. And let's see here. Look to Nature's also says Oric is a self-seeding spinach alternative as well. Oh, good. It's a good self-seeder, right? Excellent. And then Bowtie is Triple G Global Gardeners from the Emerald Coast of the Panhandle in Florida. Excellent. Great to have you with us, David. And everybody else, thank you all so much for being here. It's so great to have you. And if you didn't get a chance for your shout out here on Roll Call, definitely drop into the chat and let us know you're here. And we'll try to get you featured up here on the bottom of the screen as we continue through our show today. We've got, again, like I said, we got a couple of great guests joining with us here today. And can't wait to meet our first guest here coming up real quick here. But let's go ahead and take our first break today, and I'll be right back in just a minute.
Ivory Organic was founded on the gardening concept of whitewashing, simply lightening your plants to better tolerate weather extremes, transplant shock, and so much more. Such a valuable gardening practice that farmers have been doing it since BC times. However, in recent years, most research has been caring for plants and trees using latex and tar-based products which are designed to last 100 years, but fall off your plants within 1 to 2 years as your plants grow, contaminating your garden soil indefinitely. Available in colors white or more natural looking colors such as brown, green, gray, and grayish. Ivory Organic has 2 general categories of whitewash products. The 3-in-1 Plant Guard, which includes 7 natural oils including castor, cinnamon, clove, garlic, peppermint, rosemary, and spearmint, which offer insect and rodent repellent protection, and the whitewash oil-free formula. Both products also have diatomaceous earth in the base ingredients, which naturally offer some insect repellent protection too. As always, keep growing with Ivory Organics and wishing you all happy gardening.
Hi gardeners, this is Brandy, the Suburban Gardenista, and I'm here today with your garden trivia for this week. Your question for today is, which plant is known as being thermogenic, meaning that it can actually generate its own heat to melt through the snow? And your options are A, the Arctic peony, B, early rhubarb, C, the skunk cabbage, or D, a very determined dandelion. I'll be back a little bit later in the show with the answer.
So, all right. Do you know the answer to Brandy's trivia question? Definitely drop into our chat there. Let us know what you think. And like I said, she'll be giving you the answer coming up here in just a little bit later on in the show. But real quick here, if we get moving on, let's mention what we had growing on here on the show this last week. If you were here with us last Saturday on the show, we had another one of our really fun community shows. Yes, this is where you, the audience, are the guest. That's right. We do these shows every so often when we can, so we can get a chance to meet all of you who spend your time hanging out with us each and every weekend here on the Let's Get Growing show. And we had a really fun community show this last Saturday. So definitely go back and check that out, and keep an eye out for our next community show as well too, where again, it'd be a fun chance for you to come on and join with us here on the show. We do it kind of like like one of those radio call-in shows, except for I give you the link so that you can come join with us live right here on the show and talk all about what you've got growing on in your gardens and all of that as well too. So you'll definitely want to keep an eye out for our next community show coming up. And as well too, on our Sunday edition of the show, we had our good friend Scott Wilson from the Gardenerd Scott channel joining us for his monthly, every second Sunday of the month. Scott joins us for our Ask Gardener Scott show, where he can answer all of your gardening questions. And last Sunday, too, I think was one of a first for us with Gardener Scott, because we've had him on many, many times on our Ask Gardener Scott show. And I think we stumped him the very first time this last Sunday, too. So you'll want to go back and check that out and see what we stumped him on, which is great. Great, because he's just a wealth of gardening knowledge. I mean, almost anything and everything you can think of as far as needing to know or questions and all of that, he's usually got a really great answer for you. But I think we got him this last week. So go back and check that out, as well as, like I said, we're here now 3 days a week. We've got our regular Saturday and Sunday shows, but we also now here on Mondays for the Green Room. And this last Monday, we had joining with Natalie and I, Natalie from the Fresh Princess, our co-host. We had Rebecca from Happy Heart Gardens joining with us, along with Josh, the plant techie. So you'll definitely want to go back and check out the Green Room show too, which is really fun. We're having such a great time at the Green Room. So if you haven't had a chance to check out one of those shows, you'll definitely want to go back and check those out as well too. So right on, everybody. Excellent. It's so great to have you here with us. It's really great also to have our next guest. It's time for Are You Following Me?
Are you following me? Are you following me, dude?
So, all right. Let's go ahead and welcome to the show, Sophea from One Arizona Garden and Growing Green Things podcast. Right on, Sophea. Thanks for being here with us today. It's great to meet you finally.
Nice to be here.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Let me give you just a minute or two here to go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody. Let everybody know about One Arizona Garden and your Growing Green Things podcast. And so everybody can go and find you. I'm sure we'll get Jay dropping a link for you as well, too, coming up. Yep.
Oh, thank you.
Are you?
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I was like, oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself there to everybody. Let us know about what you got growing on over there at One Arizona Garden.
Okay. Hi, guys. My name is Sophea. I live in Chandler, Hotland, Arizona. It's really crazy because you can grow so much here in Arizona.
Yeah.
And my main channel is One Arizona Garden, the whole spelling, O-N-E, instead of the number one. And then recently, I just started a podcast on mainly on Instagram right now. It's called Sowing Green Things.
Did I said Growing Green Things. I got.
Oh, it's okay. It is
Oh.
okay. Growing Green Things was taken, so I went with sowing.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know why I thought that when I was just doing that earlier, but let's go ahead and fix that real quick. Oh, there we
It
go.
is okay. So yeah, no, I am a full-time special ed teacher and I garden on the side as a stress reliever. And then I just
Oh.
started the podcast because I like
Love
talking.
that. Oh yeah, same here. That's exactly the case here for sure. Absolutely. And yeah, I've been really liking your little podcast you got going. I catch that every now and then on the Instagram as well too. So that's really, really fun. It's really kind of a fun thing to, like you said, if you enjoy talking and talking with folks about gardening and all of that, what a better way to do that than to have your own podcast or show like that, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right on, right on. So tell us a little bit, for one, let's just get right down to it. You kind of a mention about, growing and gardening for stress relief. Is that kind of how you got started gardening, or, how did your garden story basically get started?
So I'm a special ed teacher,
Yeah.
and life is really stressful because
Hmm.
it's not an 8 to 5 job. It's literally a 6:30 to, whenever you finish your paperwork.
Right.
Because as a special ed teacher, we have so much paperwork, it's like ridiculous.
Mm.
Um, and I used to go to therapy, but then it got expensive. And then one day I was pulling weeds in the backyard and I was like, "Ooh, I like this." And that's how I got started gardening.
Oh, yeah, that's how you got started gardening. Yeah. Well, again, too, it, it's one of my favorite things to kind of talk about though when it comes to gardening really is this extra benefit we get. I mean, one of the things, we have we have our own doctor who shows up every couple months to talk about things, Dr. Jeff. And
Oh,
and
nice.
one of the things, is that we don't just get food from our garden. We get all sorts of other things,
Mhm.
exercise, all of this other sort of stuff. But the big one really is this sort of sense of relief in a sense
Mhm.
from things that we've got going on in our lives and our world. And I've always said that once a gardener really kind of discovers that, especially new gardeners and all that, once they discover that it's just kind of like seals the deal. You're like a gardener for life after that, right?
Mhm. Yeah, no, and I don't know if you have many guests from Arizona, but it's also challenging to garden here in Arizona because we
Yeah.
have 2 seasons, that's it. It's either winter, which we did not have this year, and summer.
Right, right. I'm starting to feel that way around here for us too, as well. Like I say, we got this, we got some temperatures changing up here this next week. We're going to be nearly 80 degrees for the most of the week this next week, which is kind of crazy. It'll dip down a little bit, but afterwards, but that's kind of how I felt over the last couple of seasons, that it's almost just kind of gone right from winter to summertime for us. And in Southern Oregon, where I live in this valley, it can be really as hot as Arizona at times for sure.
We're at 100 degrees right now, and our winter was in the 80s.
Yeah,
So,
definitely can't touch it as far as what you get for your winter times, but our summer times can really get up there for sure.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's really nice. I mean, we can grow so much, just so much heat-loving plants here. And when I first moved here, the first year, I hated it until I discovered gardening. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm never gonna ever, ever, ever move out of Arizona."
Yeah. Yeah, it then again becomes the challenge of that now that you've learned how to grow in such a place, you know what I mean, that folks don't really think you can grow a lot of stuff in.
Mhm.
But once you figure that out, then the challenge would be if you moved is to figure out a whole 'nother environment and a whole 'nother thing, right?
No, I'm not gonna move. I am
Not
not
gonna do
going
it.
to move. I'm just going to literally die here, and my body can be compost. So,
There you go. I love it. That's great. It put me in the garden, right? I say
that's
that
right.
as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Excellent. So again, um, l- tell me just a little bit more about like again some of this early gardening that you were doing. What were some of these things that you were discovering as you were getting out into your garden that you could grow in this Arizona?
Well, first of all, we can grow moringa trees, which are heat-loving
Mm.
plants. And my whole backyard is like a food forest. I don't know if you can see a little bit of it.
Yeah, I love the
Um,
background too. Again, too, someone who can really compete with me here too, right? I love it.
yeah, no, the moringa trees, I mean, it grows so fast. It grows 20 to 30 feet a season.
Mm,
And I use it to build my microclimate because, in Arizona, you really do need that dapple shade to keep everything alive. So that's the number one plant that I grow here. And then we can grow the castor beans. I have giant castor beans that are just, the leaves are like this big.
Wow.
It's ginormous.
Wow. Yeah.
Um, and pretty much any heat loving plants I pretty much have. So
Anything heat loving, right? Do you
hmm
grow any sort of trees or anything as well too, fruiting trees?
I have a lot of stone fruits. I mainly have the donut peach. I don't know if you know what that is. It's a small donut looking
Yeah,
like
yeah, kind of a
peach.
flat looking peach.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, so I grow those. I have the Arctic white nectarine, which I was really scared about this year because we didn't really have a lot of chill hours. And surprise, surprise, I'm getting some fruits. So I was like, whoa, that's so cool.
Nice. Yeah,
Um, I have about 200 trees. So
about 200 trees. Oh my. That's quite a bit. So you got pretty good space there then, huh?
no, only 900 square feet.
You fit 200 trees into 900 square feet. Oh wow. That's
So
pretty
they're pretty,
wild.
it's pretty compact. And I have a lot of tropical trees. So,
Mm,
their roots don't extend as far. And everything is pretty much compact here.
yeah.
That's how I'm able to fit a lot of things in.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. So, what are out of what you're growing there too? What are some of your absolute favorite things to grow there?
Oh gosh. This year,
Too many to
ooh,
count, right?
I don't even know. I mean, I have a lot of sunflowers right now. I'm looking at six, seven, eight, about 12 trays of sunflowers.
Mm,
And the hollyhocks. As far as fruit veggie goes, I love pineapple tomatoes. Um,
those are good. I've grown those a few seasons ago.
oh my God, aren't they the best? It's
They
like,
are really good. Yeah, yeah. I got my seeds from Territorial Seed several years ago, and just became one of my favorites for sure.
wow. Yeah, no, there's a local nursery called Summer Winds. There's only 3 stores here in the valley, and they carry like the most interesting things. And I discovered the pineapple tomato, oh gosh, about 15 years ago there,
Mm.
and I've been in love with it ever since.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great one to choose if you're gonna choose one for your garden. And it's good to hear that they grow well for you too there in Arizona too.
Yeah, no, and we can grow pretty much anything as long as you provide that afternoon shade.
Yeah, yeah, the afternoon shade's kind of important, especially for warmer climates.
Oh yeah, it can be
Yeah.
a killer. It's like it can be a killer.
So with those being some of your favorite things to grow, what are some of your least favorite things to grow when it comes to Arizona? I'm sure there's several things that,
Mm,
I mean, really present a challenge, right?
I've always wanted to grow some of the cooler climate flowers like the hellebores.
Right.
Every year I mean tears, just tears because I'll get to grow it like for a good month or two during the winter, and then when summer hits, it's just dead. But I mean, I'm not going to give up because I really want it.
Yeah. So yeah, right on. Excellent. Let's see here. Jay was asking actually here. I would like to know more about fitting so many trees in a small space.
Check out my page, you'll see.
That's right.
So
That's right. So yeah, definitely. And are all these trees in ground or are they container trees?
so a majority, I would say 75% of them are in ground,
Okay.
and then they're in terracotta pots. Um,
Mm,
because here, I mean, the terracotta pots are like the best. You can't overwater it because the water seeps right out because it has so many pores.
right.
And as long as you get like a good size, 17-inch or bigger, you can pretty much fit any small trees.
Oh, excellent. Right on. And what are some of your favorite trees you're growing?
All the quats, the kumquats.
All the kumquats. You like
Oh
all
my
the
God. I mean, I have the Maywa, the what is it, the Mandarin quats. I don't know if you've ever heard of those. Those are really cool. And then the lime quats, which you can eat really just right off the tree, or it's great with a fish, any fish
Mm,
dish.
Yeah. Is there any sort of tree that you're growing that you wouldn't have expected to be able to grow there in Arizona?
Um,
Are you
I
growing
would
any like
s
apples or any of these really
I
kind of cooler
do.
climate
Yeah,
trees?
I have crab apples. I have some pears. I have banana mangoes, because when I first moved here, everybody's like, "Oh no, you can't do mangoes. It just won't survive in Arizona." I have 5 mango trees and they're all fruiting.
Oh, wow.
Papayas,
Yeah.
s-
Papayas. Oh man,
bananas. I have lots of bananas.
I know. Oh man, all these great things I wish I could grow myself. You guys get to grow in those southern climates, which is so nice. But yeah, are you familiar with Greg Peterson from the Urban Farm?
hmm
Yeah, you get any of his trees at all?
I do every once in a while. But I mainly go to a couple of nurseries that's around my area because I don't really get to venture out as much. I mean, I work all the time and then I come home. I just want to vegetate in the garden. And if
Yeah.
I do go anywhere, it's like literally 15, 20 miles away from here, and that's about it.
Oh, right on, right on. Excellent. And I see here, Darth was asking avocados.
I do have 3 avocado trees.
Excellent, excellent. Three. Name it. Just name it, and you got it right.
Um, oh my gosh. Yeah, no, this year I added the Marcus pumpkin. I don't know if you know what that is. The fruits are like this big.
Oh wow.
Um, and then I have about, so those are the ones that are going to fruit. I also have like 8 seedlings of avocados.
Wow. Wow. Excellent. Excellent. So, again, too, being in Arizona, this is kind of a different climate than a lot of other folks who garden are familiar with and all that. And I'm sure we could all think of like, heat being a real challenge for you. But what are some of those other real garden challenges that you face in your Arizona garden?
Just the heat, really,
Yep.
and the scorching sun, because if I forget to prop up my patio umbrella one day, everything can die in that area.
Mm,
So that's the thing. And then I want fancy pots, like fancy glazed pots, but I can't really do that because it's too hot here, unless you get like the ginormous ones, which it's a little
yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, a little expensive to be doing that, definitely. So again, probably, again, watering, keeping things watered and all of that probably presents your biggest challenge when it comes to the heat, right? Maybe
hmm
do you have to utilize like shading or shade cloth or anything like that for any parts of your garden too? Or
I do. I used to have shade cloth all over, but as you can see now, I have like huge trees that provide that shade. But
excellent.
here it's just the challenge is you have to get up so early in the morning, especially in the summer, to water.
Hmm.
Um, and then you can't really depend on just the drip system because it's so hot that it damaged all the lines in a couple of years. And I live in the city. I live in an HOA, which totally sucks, by the way. Um,
As I've heard.
oh my gosh. I
Seems
meant
like
the
everybody
tree.
who gardens in an HOA has got lots of challenges. See, there's a new challenge, right?
Oh, that's the biggest challenge, but I don't have flooded irrigation. So everything is just,
Mm,
micro sprinkler or just hand watering. And that's tedious and it's very time consuming. So
yeah.
I would say that would be my biggest challenge.
Yeah, yeah, making sure because you got to do it, right? You can't.
Mhm.
It's not. You can't be missing days when it comes to watering those things in that type of climate, right?
Oh no, and then I have a low quad. If I miss one day of watering, it's going to wilt and it's going to suffer.
Right.
So it's like I can't go on
Just not gonna
vacation.
take it. Can't
It's
go on
like
vacation. Yeah.
I can't.
When was the last vacation, right?
Oh my God, the last vacation, literally 10 years ago. So
Some things
uh,
just take priority, right? Your vacation's in your backyard.
yeah, no, I mean, I again check my page out. I don't go anywhere. I literally just love staying in my backyard, and
Yeah.
and that's just it. I mean, I travel based on YouTube. I'll just if I want
Mm.
to, look at I don't know somebody's garden, I'll just go on their account and just look at that, and that's about it. It's like,
Yeah. Let's see here. David's asking, in Arizona, you deal with intense sun and heat. As we're talking about, what is the single biggest mistake new desert gardeners make when they start growing food?
They want everything and anything. I would say start
Mm-hmm.
small.
Yep.
Because like I said, it's challenging with the watering alone. So just start with a couple of, plants. I know a friend who loves tomatoes so much. They bought like 5, 6 different varieties of tomatoes, and they're like, "Oh my God, I don't have the space. I don't have the time to water them all." And did you know you have to make a trellis for the indeterminate tomatoes? So there's a lot of things that you have to learn.
Yeah.
So I would say start small.
Start small. Yeah, yeah. Start with more desert friendly type of things so they can see some
Mhm.
successes for sure, and then kind of work out and experiment from there, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. Excellent. So let's see here. Tell us a little bit more, okay, about Sowing Green Things podcast. I've been really, like I said, I've been kind of enjoying it. I love other folks who get out and do interviews and talk with other gardeners and all of that. It's really, and you do a real great job with your podcast there. Tell us how you got that all started up.
Um, I so I had a part-time job working at a local nursery, and
Mhm.
it was too time consuming, and but I still love talking to people. So I was like, you know what? What's the best way to do that? A podcast.
Yeah,
But the difference between my podcast is I haven't streamed it on any streaming platform yet. It's just strictly on Instagram, um, which is doable for me because
yeah,
because I have a full-time job. Um, and everything is everything is fun there. I'm not too serious. I love to laugh. And all the people that I interviewed are literally they're at the comfort of their own home. Nothing
yeah.
is in person.
Yeah, yeah, that was a big change for me when it came to what I was doing with my content. Years ago, I would be traveling and visiting people and doing videos and checking out
Wow.
gardens and everything. And then around the pandemic time, everybody, we
Mhm.
kind of stopped doing that. So it was like, okay, we're all getting familiar with Zoom, so we start doing that. But then that was like, well, this is really great because now I can reach people from all over the world now
That's
versus
right.
having to try to travel and get to talk to people. So it really kind of
Mm.
opens things up for conversation, right?
Yeah, and then I'm at
And who you can talk
technologies
to.
these days. They can just send you a picture or a video, and you can insert that in for the viewers to see. Um,
Yeah.
but since I've been doing the podcast, and like I said, it's been a little over 2 months. It's been so much fun.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, I'm not making any money, but it's okay because I
Right.
love, I mean, I just love the joy of talking to other people about all the
Exactly.
things we love.
Yeah, yeah. There ain't much money in gardening talk, but you know what? Like you said, it's fun to do. It's just one of my favorite times of the whole week is getting to sip in the weekends with folks here on the Let's Get Growing show and talk with all of these just amazing gardeners that we get to talk to, like yourself. So, real quick here before we finish up and let you go, tell us a little bit about what you got coming up. Do you got any projects or things that you're going to be doing over at One Arizona Garden, or any cool upcoming guests you might be having on Sowing Green Things?
Um, well, for sewing green things, one of my guests, or for next week, she's a teacher as
Yeah.
well. So
Okay.
it's really fun to talk about our challenges at work and at home, and finding the time to actually do what we love, which is gardening. So that's going to be
Yeah.
fun. And there's a lot of laughing. I don't even know if anybody can hear what we're going to talk about because we laugh so much. More like cackling.
I love it.
Um, and then for sowing green things, this is the first year that I meant for One Arizona Garden. I'm sorry. This is the first year that I started a lot of my plants from seed.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm just going to do a lot of giveaways because I don't know what to do with 200 sunflowers.
Yeah, it comes with that thing of you want to grow everything, and then you want to grow all the seeds, you want to grow all the things, and then you end up with a lot of stuff. And that's the case for me too, especially like with my peppers, because I'll grow all sorts of different peppers and have all sorts of extra plants that won't fit out into the garden. So I'm out trying to give them away to friends, like, here, try this, try that, grow this. But yeah, it's again one of the extra fun things about gardening is to be able to share that with friends, right?
That's right. Well, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really wonderful to have you on. And again, for everybody, definitely go down and check the links down below to Sophea's channel there, and go check out what she's got growing on over at Sowing Green Things as well too. Go give her some likes, go leave her a comment, let her know you saw her here on the Let's Get Growing show. And again, thank you so much for spending your time with us this weekend. It was really awesome to meet you.
Thank you. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Hey, gardeners. Thanks for tuning in to our show today. Okay. Hey, gardeners. Thanks for tuning in to our show today. We'll be right back at it here in just a moment. I just wanted to take a second here to highlight our regular videos and features here on the Urban Gardener channel. Our weekly garden journals, and our incredible featured visits.
I'm back with the answer to this week's trivia question. Do you know which plant is thermogenic? The correct answer is C, the skunk cabbage. Eastern skunk cabbage, which is native to many parts of eastern North America, can generate its own heat and can actually reach temperatures up to 20 degrees higher than the surrounding air so that it can bloom while the ground is still frozen. Not only does this help it bloom while its competitors are still dormant, but this also helps to evaporate its skunky smell to attract just the right pollinators, like flies and beetles, who think that this smelly plant has just the right scent. And that's your garden trivia for today. Thanks so much for playing. Enjoy the rest of the show, and make sure to pop by and say hi at the Suburban Gardenista on YouTube and Instagram, and there'll be a link for you down in the description below. Thanks again, and happy gardening!
All right. Thank you, Brandy. Did you get the answer to the garden trivia question correct? Awesome. And definitely go and check out the link down below, and go check out Brandy over at the Suburban Gardenista. And also, too, what we got coming up here for the rest of this weekend here on the Let's Get Growing show. Like I said, we're here 3 days a week. That's for sure. We got our monthly gardening book club coming up tomorrow. It is the third Sunday of the month, and our good friend Mark Boucher Colbert, Mr. NBC, joins with us. And this month we are featuring Gary Pilarchik's Growing an Edible Landscape. So Gary will be joining with us to talk about his really great book about putting plants into your landscape, so that we can kind of look past our lawns and see what we can grow, and grow some food in our yards and all of that. Really great book. So definitely come and join with us tomorrow on the show for our monthly gardening book club. And then again, we'll be back again here on Monday evening now, because we have our new show, The Green Room. That's right, The Green Room. This week we are featuring we've got From Dream to Seed joining with us, along with Back Home or Down Home Backyard Gardening. Those two will be with us, Natalie and I from the Fresh Princess. And it's a great time. It's really having fun with this new show, The Green Room. So you'll definitely want to come and join with us this Monday night for another great, fun conversation here on the Let's Get Growing show. So, all right, everyone, it's time for our featured guest.
You never know when you might learn something. And that's what this is about for me. These are people that I admire. Please welcome my next guest.
So, all right. It's always great to have guests we've had on before back onto the show. And so today we're welcoming back Christy Wilhelmi from
Hey
over
there.
at the Gardenerd. How are
Hi,
you
thanks for
doing,
having me.
Christy?
I'm doing pretty well. It's a hot day here in Southern California. We're having another heat wave, which is, lately not as unusual as I would like it to be. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
so trying to
So
keep
yeah, you
things
guys
cool.
getting a little bit of what I guess they're saying on the West Coast here. We got this little heat dome or whatever. It's stretching all the way up here into Oregon, and I think up towards Washington a little bit too this week. So you got some pretty good temperatures coming at your way as well.
Yeah, about 10 days worth. So it's
Yeah.
going to probably put an early, not necessarily an early end, but a more of a final end to any of our winter stuff that was growing.
Right.
And except my cabbages, I think they're still going. They're going to be good. But it's really motivating to pull everything out and start planting new stuff, because with the warmer weather, the seeds germinate faster. We like that. So I'm in bed prep mode right now, pulling old stuff and prepping beds for the spring crop.
Yeah, and it's kind of great, having conversations with folks like yourself and Sophea as well. She's over in Arizona, where it's kind of a little bit of a different situation. But those
Completely.
in the South or in the more southern climates, you're already well into growing, harvesting, doing all sorts of great things and stuff. While some of the other folks who are gardening in those northern climates are still kind of waiting to get things going and get things out into their garden spaces. So we kind of live vicariously through some of you gardeners and or online to see what you've got growing on at this time of year. What are some of the things that you're getting planned for to transfer into your garden spaces after you're pulling some of this stuff out?
Well, we run differently than most of the country, where everyone else is preparing their cool season crops right now. We are right into our warm and hot season stuff. So I've got tomatoes under grow lights, and I've potted them up to 4-inch pots. So those will be a little bit, hey, Shauna Gardner. Those will be going out as soon as I'm still picking the peas from the winter cover crop, where the tomatoes are going to go. So I like to grow shelling peas in the spot where my tomatoes will go, because it helps them grow better. And that's kind of my trick. But cabbages and brassicas are finishing up, all the other brassicas. I'm going to be planting seeds for more lettuces, arugula, cilantro. I've got plans for squash, but the space isn't available yet. And I'm looking out there, what else have I got? Oh, corn. I'll be seeding corn soon, which I know feels really early to everyone who's buried in snow right now, but here we are.
Right. Wow, you think of if you could start doing corn this early, you could almost do like 2 different crops of corn, wouldn't you think, right?
Yeah, I haven't tried that yet, because I'm usually traveling later in the year
Right.
when it is important to be around for that kind of thing. But we harvest in July, and then you can plant another crop, because here it's hot until through October. So we could do a second crop if we wanted to.
Yeah, especially you find some of those, faster maturing varieties, squeeze those in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. So, I know we're talking a little bit about, what you're planning and getting going right at this moment, but it's been a little while since we saw you. How did last year's garden grow for you overall?
It's been a little bit of a challenge. I have two gardens. So I have my home garden, and that one did pretty well, although I am having to dig out roots from neighboring trees and shrubs as usual. And I'm noticing it a little bit more. So things didn't quite grow as well as I would have liked. But in my community garden, the wildlife, it is team wildlife has been winning last season. Mostly, but here's the thing. We've got an influx of coyotes who have been showing up in the community garden, and they're eating a lot of the prey animals that are in the in our beds. So
Yeah.
the rabbits, the gophers, the rats, they're all disappearing, which I'm okay with. I know there's a
Yeah.
lot of people who are trying to put the coyotes. They're like, oh, I need to shoot the coyotes, and I'm like, you know what? They're eating all of the game that's out
They're
there.
kind of your garden protectors in a way, right?
Yeah. So I did show up. This is morbid, but I showed up once and I had a gopher trap in the ground, and
Yeah.
it had been dug out by a coyote and they had eaten most of it.
Oh
So
my. Yeah,
I
you
got
got to
to
deal with
clean up.
that too, right?
Yeah. So there is, that's going on. But otherwise, I feel like things are I keep mentioning my cabbages. I'm most proud of those because those are all growing really well. And I've got beets going right now, some green onions, some chard, and lettuces, carrots.
Yeah.
And here, turnips and parsnips. I just harvested a bunch of turnips, more carrots, and there's a lot going on. The salad greens are bolting to seed, and that's okay. They make a big show, and I let them scatter because then they volunteer everywhere next season. So that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, that's really awesome. That's awesome. So anything you're thinking about as far as like maybe something that didn't do as well this last year as you're saying that you're going to got some sort of solution for, something that you're thinking about in order to give it another shot this year?
Well, I did get a few new seeds to try. I've been battling downy mildew, and I don't know if your listeners know, but there are different, downy mildew is species specific. So if you've got downy mildew on your green onions, it's different than the downy mildew on your basil. And so I have my basil under control because I'm growing downy mildew resistant varieties of that. But now I think I picked up some downy mildew on green onions because I bought some from a nursery and they were infected. So that's a problem.
Bringing something in from another place as well too, right?
Yeah, and it happens. So my plan is to cut them all down to nubbins and to soil level and let them grow back. Oftentimes that fixes the problem, but not always. If not, I will pull them and they go in the green bin, not in the compost bin.
Yeah, but so what you're saying though with this is that it's different based on the different type of plant that you're planting. So do they transfer? So it's really just going to stick to your onions then, right?
It pretty much, yeah. And I did have some on peas as well, which this was the first year I've ever had downy mildew on peas. So I'm kind of upset. But I think in this case, being the what do you call it? The disciplinarian and pulling the crops before they get to to spread the spores everywhere is the right thing to do. So I've been more diligent about doing that this year than in the past.
Yeah. I haven't had to face anything like that with peas or anything. My biggest problem I've been having with my peas the last couple of seasons, and man, I grew for several seasons and never had this issue. And now they're here. Now I can't figure out what to do with them. But I've got this dreaded pea weevil. And these things just get into everything. And because one of the big things is like, so you can get in and harvest like early and get some if you get them started early. But I like to take my peas, take what I can from them, and then I'll let the plants kind of go and mature so that I can collect the seed for pea shoot microgreens that I'll do, later on in the year. But when you want to collect seed or to let it go to seed, that's when they really dig in there. And then when you're going to get all the seed out, you see these little holes inside of them, or they're popping out on you while you're like shelling the peas from the pods and all of that. And you're like, oh no. And it just ruins the whole thing because they won't grow after that because they basically just eaten out the center of your pea seed.
I don't know a lot about pea weevils, but are they soil borne? Do they incubate in the soil over winter?
Yes, I believe that's what it is. So I'm trying to figure out how to get past this cycle of them in a way, but it hasn't been easy.
I'll bet there is a beneficial nematode that will take care of that. Have you
Mm.
tried that's my first approach to everything is let me look up what
What
predator,
predator? Yeah.
nematode I can find for this.
Yeah, no, I'm
Um,
gonna have to dig into that and check that out for one. I've just been kind of going with the let's get them out a little bit earlier, or try to do something off of the regular schedule that I'm doing. Maybe, I don't know, planting later or even, but that's not really a good idea because it just gets too warm too fast.
right.
But yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just awful.
I can look it up and see.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's pea weevils aren't something that we have here, but certainly there must be. I mean, basically, if it's an insect that pupates in the soil over winter, there's going to be something you can do for it that way. Usually with either
Gotta be
a
something that
bacteria,
you
a fungi, or a nematode that will predatorize that whole thing.
Yeah, we got to get on that for sure.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, yeah, what are some of these other things you're looking forward to growing this upcoming season? Anything new that you're putting out in the garden that you haven't tried before?
I've gotten a couple of new seeds for some peppers. I've never grown Aleppo pepper before, but I've been watching a cooking show that uses a lot of Aleppo pepper. So I'm like, yeah,
Mm,
I'll try growing that. That'll be fun.
yeah.
And I always try at least a new tomato variety every year. I'm trying to think of what it was. It's a container variety from Renee's Seeds. I think it's something with fire in the word. I'll have to dig through my seeds and find that. But always try something new, of course. And I'm gonna give some things that haven't worked in the past another try, because for me, if it doesn't work the first year, I try it for at least 3 years before I give up on it. There's a squash that's called the emerald serpent, I think is what it's called, and it's a Italian like long serpent. Oh, God, I'm sorry, I'm not thinking of what it is, but it's on the tip of my tongue. It's
That happens to me all the time.
So I'm giving those things another try, and the new pepper that I haven't grown before.
Oh, excellent. Have you ever tried, we were talking with Sophia in the last segment about the pineapple tomato. Have you ever tried a pineapple tomato?
Yeah, I've grown that before. It's a nice one. It reminds me of my favorite yellow golden tomato is a Zoychka, which is a yellow beefsteak type tomato that is anything with a Russian or like Czech sounding name has been grown usually in a mountainous region. So it's really good for coastal gardens that don't get as warm as inland places. So I focus on those because I'm near the coast in Southern California. And Zoychka has always been a really nice big producer for me, even if beefsteaks don't get as big as they do anywhere else. They stay pretty small because we're moderate temperatures here. But I like that one. And Marvel Marvel stripe. No, that's a beet.
I know. Names get me so many times on different varieties for sure.
And I haven't looked at my seed tray to see what I'm growing, because there's certain ones that I grow every year, and I ran out of a Zoychka seed, so I am trying something different this year, but I can't remember what it is. Sorry.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah. So right on. Again, too, let's jump into what you got going on over at Gardenerd right now. Tell us a little bit about Gardenerd, so everybody who's watching right now who might not be familiar can learn a little bit about that. Also, too, we got links down below in the description for anyone who wants to go over there and check out what you've got growing on there.
Sure. Gardenerd is my website and business. I teach people how to grow food in small spaces. And I do specialize in the warm winter climate areas. So if you're listening from one of those, I'm definitely on your side. We do classes, consulting, food garden design, installations. I have a maintenance division where we take care of people's gardens, which is kind of another wing of the business. And then I have my books behind me, so you can see
Yeah.
High Yield Small Space Organic Gardening. That's about growing vegetables in small spaces. Grow Your Own Mini Fruit Garden is about growing fruits in small spaces. And then my novel, Garden Variety, right there.
Mm-hmm.
And the sequel, which is coming out right now. We're going to talk about that.
Oh, I know. I'm really excited about this for
that.
sure. I know. Absolutely.
So I also have a YouTube channel. I had a podcast for 17 years, and you can listen to the archives anytime you want. And I've been working
for 17 years. Is it still going on?
No, I put it on hiatus in 2024 so I could focus on some other projects. And but I do include on my newsletter every week. I'll go back into the archives and post a relevant podcast episode. And I'm on all the social media places too, so you can find me there.
Excellent. Yeah. So yeah, definitely, like I said, everybody go and check out Christy down at the Gardenerd, and the description below, we got a link for you there. We also got a couple of other links for you as we're talking about Christy's an author. She's mentioning with these really great books that she's written about small space gardening. Real quick though, I want to kind of dig into a little bit about the fruit garden book real quick before we move on. But
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about that. Is this like talking about like growing like container trees and things like that for small spaces as well?
Right. So for small space gardens, whether it's a patio, balcony, or in ground in a small yard, there are options for containers for, I talk a lot about, I'm sorry, I'm losing my words today. It's a planting trees in the same planting hole, and it's not companion planting, it's another C word, and I can't remember it right now. But you're basically either using a technique that has been tested out for many years. I interviewed Tom Spellman of Dave Wilson Nursery for the book, and he really was a big innovator on this concept of grouping trees together that are in the same plant family, like stone fruits, citrus, and all of that. I like palm fruits.
And this
together.
is just putting them, again, like you said, in the same hole together, letting them kind of grow right with each other as well, right?
Right. And you're shaping them as keeping them small so that you don't have to have a ladder to harvest them. You're keeping them compact. So you start with small trees to begin with. So dwarf or semi-dwarf, if you can, some, miniature, if some trees are available in that, but not using standard size trees, because that's just too much work. And the tree's not happy if you're pruning it really small, but you can keep smaller trees small. Like my front yard is a mini orchard. I've got 5 fruit trees out there instead of a lawn. And we have all of our citrus, and I have a pomegranate tree, and I've got space for one more because we lost a plum tree years ago and haven't replaced it yet because of the disease. There's a insect that was boring in, killing all the stone fruit trees in our area. So
yikes. Yeah, it's always worse. Those things that affect your trees and really mess up like whole seasons of things when they just get in and just ruin everything, huh? Yeah, we did have Tom on the show before too, talking again. He's a whole concept of backyard orchard culture and these sort of things. And I know that's one of the things he's talked about before. Have you ever like multi-grafted any of your trees or tried doing any of those?
I have not. I'm sort of lazy in the way that I'm not as my nerd. Yeah, my nerd brain goes in a different direction than grafting fruit trees, but I know a lot of people who are rare fruit growers who do go in that direction, and they're grafting stuff all the time to see what takes hold. Yeah,
we talked a lot about that on our last Monday Green Room show we did. We had Josh Gardens from the Plant Techie, and he's just big on growing all sorts of different fruiting trees and everything. And we were talking about doing those multi-grafts, which are just, to me, pretty amazing. I interviewed a gentleman from the California Rare Fruit Growers. Is it an association? Anyways, he was telling me about a tree he has in his backyard with like over 170 different variety grafts on it. And I'm like, there's just no way. How is that even possible? But it's just kind of cool, the idea that you could grow all these, similar types of trees, again, like what you're doing in the same hole, but you're grafting these similar types of trees onto each other to get all these different varieties. But
It's
Again,
fun.
I'm the same. I'm kind of a
Well,
little lazy to get
I
it going, but I want to try it out sometime soon.
it's worth trying, and I'm not going to put anybody down for doing it. I know that it takes a long time, and some of the graphs don't take, so you just have to keep
Yep.
trying.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Right on. Excellent. So yeah, let's move on and talk a little bit about, of course, for everybody who hasn't had a chance to check out our book club. Christy was one of our first book clubs in the first year or anything, which was really great because what we like to do on the book club is, have all sorts of different types of gardening books. And one of the really cool things that you've done over the last few years is you wrote a book called Garden Variety, which is a fiction book. It's
Mhm.
a book of characters. It's set in a community garden, and it's just a really, really fun book. And in fact, I'll just mention this as far as the story goes, is I discovered your book and yourself by researching and getting the idea for this show going
Oh, how
because
fun.
because the original name I had for my idea for this show was called Garden Variety. It was going to be a garden variety show is what it
Mhm.
was the idea. And I was looking it up, who's using the garden variety out there? And I saw a couple of other things, but then I saw your book, Garden Variety, and I had to check it out and read it because it was, again, different because it's a fiction book, unlike what we're getting with a lot of our, you've written, how-to type garden books or other books of that sort of nonfiction type of value. But this one was just really fun. So first off, before we get moving on, let's talk a little bit and tell us a little bit about the original Garden Variety book. And for anybody interested, I do have a link down below in the description to that book club episode where we also dig into that book too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that was a fun episode. I remember that. Garden Variety, it's like you said, set in a community garden in Los Angeles, California. It is inspired by the fact that I've been a member of a community garden for 28 years, and there is so much fodder for story in that place. And so the characters I came up with were all amalgamations of people I've met over the years in community gardens and outside of that. And it's really, I like to create stories that teach people how to garden as they go through and read it. So there are a lot of gardening lessons peppered throughout the story. So a lot of people, the feedback on the book is, this was so much fun, and I learned so much as I read it. So
Yeah.
it follows a cast of characters. It's a kind of eclectic group of people in all different ages and in different parts of their lives and dealing with different problems all the way through.
Yeah, and as you just mentioned too, and that was kind of one of the fun things about as you're reading through and kind of discovering is that yeah, maybe a fiction book, but you're like sprinkling in some garden how-tos, tips, and all these sort of things throughout the book as well too.
Yeah, I had fun doing that because originally when I wrote it, I wanted that to be my garden book, but then I got hired to write my first gardening book, and so I had to
Right.
go back and like, okay, now we need to make this like a real story and cut out all the stuff that I put in the other book. So what was left is essential and fun, and you get to get into the lives of these characters at the same time.
So this book was something again that you had kind of started before you got on to doing the other books ideas and stuff. So this was kind of one of your original ideas for a book.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm dating myself here. 2001 was when I wrote the first scene from it, and then I had to put it away for 8 years while I went through some life-changing things, and then
Yeah.
I got hired to write my gardening book, and it took another, probably, I don't know, another decade before I ended up picking it up and writing the first full draft of it. During a NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month, I decided, I'm going to do it. The goal for NaNoWriMo is to write 50,000 words in 30 days. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, you just set your schedule and you
Yeah.
break it down into your word count and go. And you don't just start blank, you prep. So I had my outline and I had my, whatever I'd written already and an arrangement of scenes and that kind of stuff. So it was fun.
Yeah. I've always kind of dreamed of the idea. I've got a couple of ideas for myself that that I've written down and thought of years ago too that I'd love to write. But that's the intimidating part for me. I wouldn't say I'm a natural writer in a sense. So the idea, like doing a challenge like that or putting something together in a long form is the most intimidating factor of the whole idea of writing a book.
Yeah, it is its own animal. And I had written short stories prior to that. And I thought, well, if I can do that, I can probably write a novel. And, but the thing about it is there's a phrase that I quote often from Mary Heaton Forrest that she said, the art of writing is the act of placing the seat of one's trousers into the seat of one's chair. So
Oh yeah.
you just sit down and do it.
Just get going, right?
Yep.
Yeah, or do some of those kind of stream of consciousness, I'm not even saying that right, but exercises where you just where you just kind of let things go and just write and see what happens in a sense too, right?
Yeah, and there are planners and pantsers, people who plan ahead of time, which is what I fall into that category. I like to map it out ahead of time, and I like to know how it ends before I start writing or get close to it. And then there are pantsers who write by the seat of their pants. They just let's see where we go today. Let's see what the characters tell me today. So that's you can be different or in between or one of those things.
I'd probably be one of those, if it came down when it comes down to it. Just let's explore this idea right now and see where it goes, versus all that sort of stuff. But yeah,
there's no one way to do it.
Yeah, I'd love to do it. I've got like you said, it takes a lot of time as well too. You got to probably set some things aside to be able to put my seat in that chair and just get going at things too. I've over all the interviews we've done with all sorts of different authors, that's kind of been the case. Is like Gardner Scott, we had him on, and he's like, yeah, I had to like literally quit making videos for like a whole year pretty much in order to be able to dedicate my time to be able to do that. And again, you got to do all of the edits and rewrites and all that sort of stuff as well too. So there's a lot that goes into putting a book together.
Yeah, it's a process. And I will usually toggle on and off between one project and a book and another project and a book, and then, kind of send it off and then work on another thing. And then when it comes back, from editors or readers or whatever, beta readers, then fix it. Yeah.
Well, right on. Well, let's go ahead and do this because I've been kind of teasing this out too, because again, I love the garden variety book. It's really become one of my favorite like garden books in a sense, just because of how unique it is in a sense. But you've been working on a follow-up too, right?
Yes, I have. And I have it right here.
Oh,
this is
the
sequel.
This right here too.
Ta-da! Bolting to Seed.
A garden variety novel. I love the little subhead down there too. That's perfect.
That's right. Yeah. So it is technically a sequel, but it is written to be a standalone. If you haven't read Garden Variety, you still can understand what's going on with it, because the editor that I had for this book had not read the first book. And so she made me go back and but she suggested strongly that I go back and put in enough backstory and information about the characters so that they could read this on its own without knowing. And so it was a little bit of a challenge to go back and give just enough information that it doesn't give away anything in the first book.
Right.
So you can go back and read it if you haven't. But it's there. And this time there's a murder to solve. So
murder mystery.
Yes. Because a lot of people, when I said I'd written Garden Variety, I've written a book that's set in a community garden, the first thing they'd say is, who gets murdered? I'm like, nobody gets murdered. What is it? What? So basically the dedication for this book is to anyone who thought that Garden Variety would have a murderer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first one has a great plot, and it's got it's got an antagonist, it's got the hero, it's got those sort of elements to it. And I guess too, the way you're describing this follow-up book too. So if you just read the follow-up book, Garden Variety becomes a prequel then, so that you can go back to and all of that. So that's really fun as well.
Yeah. And you're going to meet some new characters. You'll see the old favorites, and it's still in the same community garden. There's a time jump of about a year and a half, and picking up where that is.
Some things have changed a little bit for some of the main characters and all of that as well, right?
Yep. and it's, Lizzie and Jared and Mary and Ned and all the cast of characters in that
Yeah.
garden.
Yeah. And again, too, I mean, and I encourage folks, if you haven't been to or gardened in a community garden, if you got one in your neighborhood or in your city or something like that, go out and get yourself a plot and go and join in a community garden. I've been in a couple of them here, and that's one of the things I really loved about Garden Variety was the familiarity it has for any of us who have been in community gardens. Is that there are always just characters, and everybody's in the different, and that's what makes it really fun, is it kind of brings your community garden experience to life through this book and these other characters.
Yeah, and I hear from a lot of readers who are like, if you've ever belonged to an HOA, which I know you were mentioning in the previous interview, if you've ever belonged to an HOA or been on a board of directors for anything, you will love the infighting that's going on in this book. And so that's happening in Garden Variety. It continues in Bolting to Seed. It's just part of life. And the whole book is really community gardens in general are a microcosm of a sample size of the rest of the world, of what's going on in the world. So there's a lot.
So we want to mention too here, Jay did pop up into the chat. If y'all want to go check out a link, I also have one down in the description for everybody on the replay too, that Christy does have a Kickstarter for her Bolting to Seed book. If you want to get in on this Kickstarter and help her get this book out there to everybody, plus get some pretty cool stuff. I was going through it. I was like, you got some pretty good things that you have to offer for different levels that folks could join in for that Kickstarter. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Of course. We came up with some kind of cool rewards. You can get anywhere from just the one. Yes, people do kickstart books. They definitely do. A lot of people in the fantasy and sci-fi genre do this. I've got a murder mystery here. I'm doing it. And so the rewards are including everything from all of my books to custom seed packets that have the cover of Bolting to Seed on it, and it's kind of fun. And then a tote bag that says "Gardening because murder is wrong."
Yes, I love it.
Thematic, and any all the way up to consultations with me and being written into my next book. So there's
I love that one too. You could be featured in Christy's next book, or is it going to be the next Garden Variety novel?
Well,
is this going to be a series now? This is kind of where we're leading into, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a trilogy, and each book in the trilogy is supposed to have the flavor of a different genre. So first book, Garden Variety, rom-com. Second book, murder mystery. Third book, fantasy. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
different genres. That's great.
I joke with my agent that I want to be completely unmarketable. So that's what I'm doing. She's like, let's not talk about that. I'm like, all right, fine.
Unmarketable. Marketable in every way, though. Actually, if you're touching in on these different things, then you got all sorts of different directions you could go, right? So it could be the very opposite.
That's correct. So I'm going to do that. And there's also going to be a virtual launch party that everybody who backs the Kickstarter will get to join. So that's going to be a big fun party. Join us.
Yeah, definitely. And so everybody go and check out the link. I know, like I said, Jay put a link in there in the chat for everybody who's here with us. Also, again, links down below in the description for everybody following along on the replay, and go get on that. There's some good tiers, some simple tiers too, to get in and join if you want to get in and join. And then again, you got the larger ones if you're which would be really fun, wouldn't it be, to like get you into a book, like be star or appearance in one of the future books and stuff like that. So all sorts of great stuff that you can get involved with in this next book coming up. I'm really excited about getting a hold of a copy of this too. So I can't wait to start reading.
Yeah, the campaign ends on April 9th, and from there we'll start sending things to the printer. And I've been reading through the interior layout and catching little typos and stuff. So we're fixing all that up, and it's going to be ready to go soon.
Yeah, I was gonna say you already got yourself kind of a copy there already, right? So you
Yeah.
did kind of some pre-copies made.
This is actually a mock-up. I printed out the cover and wrapped it around
Oh, there you go.
copy.
All right. These some tricks of the trade right there, huh?
Because I have to, it takes a while to get things printed, but I am going to be printing some advanced reader copies to send out to reviewers and such. So that's part of the process. So.
Oh, right on. Excellent. Yeah. So that's really great. I can't wait. And then, of course, we're definitely going to have to, and I'll just tease this out a little bit, down the road. I know we always announce our new books at the end of our book club shows and all of that, but just a little teaser. I think you might be seeing Bolting to Seed coming up in a few months for our book club coming up as well, too, because we definitely got to revisit what's going on with Lizzie and the community garden.
Excellent. I love it. And we did include a book club guide set of questions in the back and some takeaway tips from the book as well for gardening.
Yeah, which you kind of did with the first book as well, too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Excellent. So that's really awesome. Really looking forward to that. It's really kind of exciting too, again, which you've also mentioned here a little bit, though it's kind of a different process in getting this published. You're doing this Kickstarter and doing this in a different way than you did before. So what's that process been kind of like as far as wanting to get this book out?
It's been interesting. My agent had this book for about almost a year, and I was getting impatient. And I was like, I really just want to get this out. And rather than try and wait to find the right publisher for it, because it is more challenging to sell sequels. And right now, publishers are not taking chances on things. They want, proven IP and all kinds of stuff that makes it harder and harder for authors to get their books published. And with all the advancements in independent publishing, it has become so much easier to just put out your own work yourself. So I decided to go that route with Bolting to Seed. My other books have all been traditionally published, and I figured let's just see what happens here. So it's a whole learning curve, and but it's, with things like Ingram Spark, it's become a lot easier to do something like that. So I have friends who are all very creative and helpful, and they're helping me with the cover design and interior layout and all of that stuff. So it's not as hard as it used to be. And I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing how this works by comparison to the traditional publishing option.
Yeah. So in that sense, like when you go to get this released, like, so all these folks who've contributed to the Kickstarters, helping you get it published. So you then just kind of send it off to what kind of is there a book printer or anything specific that you use that put out the book? And is it like by order? Do you do it that way? Or do you get a whole bunch of books that you got to sell kind of out of your trunk of your car or anything? Or I don't know, how's that kind of work?
Yeah, all of the above. So Ingram Spark does print on demand. They'll let you order in bulk, and then they also do distribution to traditional publishing, not traditional publishing, but like booksellers, libraries. They reach all of the same, they have the same reach as traditional publishers do in terms of distribution. So it makes it easier for independent publishers to get their books into the places that regular traditionally published books are found. So you can order directly from them as print on demand. You can order a box of 100 or whatever. And, then also when you put them in charge of distribution, they put it in catalogs that go out for book clubs, libraries, and bookstores, booksellers to stock in their catalog as well.
Excellent. Well, it seems like a really great options though, too, for folks who are, trying to get published. Like you said, if they're, running into the problems of nobody wants to take it on, like you're saying, they're being really, they're scrutinizing a lot more, when it comes to things. So it sounds like a really great option for folks who are trying to get their work out there.
It is. And I feel like, with getting a book traditionally published, I was really grateful to have Garden Variety published by William Morrow. it was certainly something that I had aimed for. I wanted my first novel to be published by a Big Five publisher, but in terms of earning out the advance and making money off of it, it's much more readily accessible if you put it out yourself. So that's another perk of doing it that way.
Yeah, excellent too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So again, everybody looking forward to this. Check out the link down below for her Kickstarter there for Bolting to Seed. And yeah, I'm just really exciting. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for this new book and all of
Thank
that
you.
as well. So that's just going to be really awesome to see how it all works out. Again, too, I, in a way, find it as well too. Like I said, inspiring to see these sort of this new adventure in book publishing as well too. So it'd be great to see kind of how that works out as well for you.
Thanks. I am too.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. I did get a few questions here. David dropped in a couple. Let's see what we can get a couple of these. Let's check out this one here. Christy, you teach a lot of techniques, but what do you think gardening teaches people about life that they don't expect when they first start?
Such a good question.
Yeah.
I think it is the biggest lesson is embrace failure, because we all are going to fail. That is a given. Nature always wins. And the more and the faster we can learn how to work with her instead of against her, the better things get. That's my takeaway for that question.
And I think that's a perfect answer though, too. It's probably the first best answer in that, what you should do as a new gardener getting started, because again, as gardeners, when we first find the garden bug, we want to grow everything, and we're hitting up every seed catalog, we're buying all sorts of seeds and all that sort of stuff, and we just want to grow all of this stuff, right? And it's really almost impossible to talk us out of it, right?
You're going to try everything. I remember my first garden. It was, my first garden was pampered like a newborn baby, and it was great, and everything grew beautifully. And, but then, you get a few seasons in, you're like, that's not working anymore. I wonder why. And you just start learning as you go. And the beauty about gardening is that you'll never know everything. It is a constant learning process. Lifelong. And so if you're goal oriented, you will learn to shift your goal into accepting a little bit more chaos into your life, a little bit more failure. It's changed who I am for sure. Cause I was, super perfectionistic and type A, and now I have arugula volunteering all over my yard, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, exactly. I love the volunteers, but like you said though, it's embracing the failure, because again, we're not going to get talked out of trying to grow anything and everything that we do. One of the other big pieces of advice for new gardeners is start small. I think Sophea's got to talk about that with Arizona gardening, but sometimes we're just not going to do that. So embrace the failures, and or call them learning experiences if you must, but things are going to happen, and then as long as you just work through those things, like you said, season after season, we're going to figure things out. Some things we're going to have to figure out because things are going to change up. It's just nature's way, right?
Yep. Failure is opportunity.
Failure is opportunity. That's right, for sure. Excellent. Anything on that line though that you've kind of learned recently in the garden? I know, I guess we kind of touched on a little bit earlier, but
I think, there's so many things. Research is my friend. Whenever I see something going on in the garden, I immediately start looking up what it is, what's causing it, and how I can prevent it. And really not by pulling out the bug spray or the fungicide. I'm looking for a biological approach to solve my problem. And whether that's planting more of the flowers that attract the right bug to parasitize an insect in the garden, that's going to be, that'll be my first approach, rather than hacking the system and using, baking soda or some like homemade detergent or whatever. I'm just not going to do that. I'm looking for the nature's solution. And if I can boost that with a little science, I will.
Yeah, that's always the best way to go. I mean, embrace organic gardening from the very get-go and all of that, but I was trying all sorts of different things and this and that and experimenting with things like you're talking about that I'm hearing online and everything. But when it came down to it, when I started finding my best gardens is when I kind of simplified things down to, just maybe some good regenerative principles, doing my own compost and, creating my own like compost teas. And it started also making things less expensive too. Right?
Yeah.
Not having to buy all these extra inputs or doing some of these other things. If you just start doing and following nature's way just a little bit, it can be a lot more simpler.
Yeah. And I think if we get out of our own way, it's a lot, it's just a lot
Yeah.
better. Most of the time, it's better if we just get our hands off of it most of the time.
Yeah. And that kind of comes back to the idea of embracing these things, right? In these things that come up and, learning opportunities and such is that, got to figure it out as it kind of happens and find those solutions, and it just becomes a little bit easier.
Exactly.
All right, let's see here. Got another question from David here. This one here. If someone wanted to transition from conventional gardening to organic methods, what's the first step that gives them the biggest improvement?
Soil. Yeah. Care about your soil and stop tilling your soil. Give your tiller to someone who you hate and let them destroy their soil. So that's kind of my first start, because everything begins with the soil. And when we're stewarding the soil food web, the microbes, the fungi, the bacteria, the protozoa, nematodes and ciliates and flagellates and all of the things that live in our soil, they are the network that we need to be supporting the most. And so when people are using pesticides and fungicides and chemical fertilizers that are killing off your soil microbiota, then you're doing more damage than good. So when you're transitioning away from chemical fertilizers, you want to focus on compost, worm castings, and mulch. Those are my 3 favorite ingredients in soil. Compost, because it helps inoculate soils with more microbiology. Worm castings, because it's a micronutrient and a pest control. And mulch, because it's a fungal food. Putting down mulch on your yard and to a depth of like 3 inches is going to help make your soil more porous without lifting a shovel. You're going to be able to dig it like butter after like 4 or 5 months of having mulch down, because it's a fungal food. The fungi start to breed and they're drilling tunnels and connecting roots to micronutrients in the soil and making connections and networks that we can't make on our own. And it just makes the whole understory, underneath your feet so much more alive and vibrant. And it just makes everything better and stuff grows. And that's the best thing you can do. Yeah,
exactly. And for me, kind of back to what I was saying there, when I was first getting started and doing things, and we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, big person in the soil sphere of the garden world was Dr. Elaine Ingham. And I'm sure that you probably checked out some of her lectures, but that was how I really learned, was watching some of her lectures early on in my gardening to start making those changes that I, and stop chasing some of these other things that I was doing, and just really kind of focus in on the soil food web and soil life itself, because that's really just where you're going to, and again, your garden's going to improve so much when you really start to center in on what improves the soil, what you can do. I like that you're talking about worm castings and stuff like that too, because this was a big one for me. I did a whole experiment a couple of seasons ago as I started my own worm bins and started collecting my own worm castings, was to just make worm teas. And I used those in my garden for a whole season. And it was probably one of my best gardens I grew, was in doing that. And I was producing them all myself. And, again, cutting down cost at the same time while we're able to help improve our soil.
Yeah, it's really the way to go. Although I do want to say, if you have a worm bin and you get the leachate, which is what it's called, the runoff from that, if it smells like garbage, don't use it, please. It should smell fresh. Yeah. Once it's gone anaerobic, it's not going to do great things for your garden. You could dilute it 10-1 with water and stir it and get some more oxygen back in there before you use it. But I usually put that in the compost bin and let that work itself out. It'll oxygenate in the compost bin, and then it'll make its way eventually into your garden, but not straight. I've killed too many things.
And that's one thing I always tell people too, is like making your own like simple worm bins at home is usually the best way to go. As far as those sort of things, you see these things out there for worm bins, and they got the little nozzle on the bottom and all of that. And really, when we learn from folks who are, really professionals at, growing worms and doing this sort of stuff, is that you really don't want leachate, as it's called. If you're seeing that, it's really probably going to mean that you've got too much moisture within your bin, and it's kind of dripping out, and by that time it's already kind of starting to go anaerobic. It's causing some issues probably in the bottom layer of your worm bin, and that might even be reasons that you might be chasing worms out of your bin and that sort of stuff because of that anaerobic moisture that's just really accumulating at the bottom of the bin. So it's really not a good thing, leachate, when it comes down to it. And you don't buy into the whole nozzle and we're going to like just pour out some worm stuff, right?
Right. That's correct. Everything you just said. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, and if it is the case and you are starting to see something dripping out, if you got a worm bin and it is doing that, then you might want to add some more bedding material in there. Maybe mix that in so it can kind of soak it up a little bit, and that'll help out your worms inside, so you're not, again, chasing them away.
Yeah, they love paper. Shredded paper is always a good thing to add, and newspaper across the top to keep the flies at bay. Yeah.
Usually when I'm starting bedding, I'll soak it up just a little bit and kind of let it drain or whatever. But in this situation, put it in dry. If you got a wet bin, put it in dry, mix it in there, let it soak up the moisture that's accumulated in the bin. But it's great stuff though. The worm castings and making teas out of that. Make some great teas for your garden, and you'll love the outcomes that come from it. All right, let's see. One more question from our friend David here. He's always got these great questions he puts in here. But he says, your brand is Gardenerd. What does becoming a Gardenerd actually look like in real life?
Oh, well, honestly, people self-identify. So I'm not going to judge or say what are the requirements for being a garden nerd. I think people figure it out for themselves. I know when I used to do trade shows, I'd have the banner hanging up behind me and it would say Garden Nerd, and people would walk by and be like, oh, and then they pick out their phone and they start showing me pictures, and it was like, okay, you're definitely a garden nerd. And that's like the bargain basement requirement is that you are enthusiastic about gardening. As a brand, I tend to go with science-based, provable science-backed data that helps people grow without getting too far into the geohacking or what, I don't know, whatever. There's a lot of people out there who are like, I'm gonna make this my whole life and whatever. Anyway, it's just, you just do what you do, fall in love with it, and never stop learning, basically. But I'm focused on vegetables. If I can eat it, I can talk about it and tell you all about it mostly. And it's a place for people to have fun and not get too serious about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I for myself would say that, if you end up like yourself too, for 17 years doing your podcast, or Sophea, who's just starting out her new podcast that we talked to earlier in the show, or like myself here, you got your own gardening talk show on the weekend, that sort of thing, you're probably a garden nerd.
Yeah, you are. For sure.
When it goes, for sure.
If your seed collection is bursting at the seams, you're a garden nerd for sure.
I see. You got to get a series, right? Of like that, like the old, you're a redneck gif, right? What's his name did? Jeff Foxworthy for all that. Have a whole series of, if you're doing this, you're a garden nerd.
Yeah, and I'm actually, you mentioned a series, but I am actually working on one
Oh,
that I can't talk about yet. But next time, maybe I'll have more to talk
I
about.
think we've teased about it before last time, right? But I think
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. It would be so wonderful with all the types of things that are out there if that did happen for sure.
It's happening.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we will have to talk about that down the road here a little
Yep.
bit more when you get back on to talk about bolting to seed for sure. But yeah, again, real quick here, tell us a little bit about anything else interesting or fun or any new projects or any sort of things that you got coming up here for Gardenerd or wherever else going on in your life, the community garden, all of that sort of stuff. What's
Yep.
happening in 2026
Well,
besides the book?
the main focus is bolting to seed, getting
Yeah.
that out there, and then I will after a little bit of a break, I will start working on the next novel. I also have this other project that I'm working on that I can't talk about it yet, but I will when I have more info, I will. I
Yeah.
just don't want to put the cart, I don't want to roll it out too soon, too prematurely. So
Yeah.
I will hold that for another time. But
Yeah.
and of course, spring planting and all that good stuff. So get out there, get your hands in the dirt, have fun.
Yeah, definitely do that. And like I said, we got lots of great links down below in the description. So you can go check out, for one, Gardenerd. They got the website over there that you can go check out. Also, we've got the link down below to Bolting to Seed Kickstarter. I really encourage you guys to go over and check that out. Go and help support Christy's new book. And like I said, get in and do that, because then you can come and join us, because I'll be there too for the launch party and all of that as well too. So that'll be a bunch of fun, and all the other fun things that you can get on all the different tiers of that she has available for the new book. And if you haven't had a chance to check out the first book, Garden Variety, definitely go check that out. And our book club interview we did, talking all about it with our good friend Mark Boucher Colbert on our book club. And so I got a link down below for all of that as well too. So right on. Again, thank you so much again for taking your time to be here with us today to talk about this just fun new adventure for you with this new book. And just really look forward to this.
Thanks for having me. It's been a blast.
Yeah, definitely. And again, everybody, check out those links below. And we'll catch Christy back on the show here not too long from now to talk all about this new book. All right. Excellent. We'll see you again next time.
All right. Thanks.
Good. Hey, gardeners. Thanks for tuning in to our show today. We'll be right back at it here. All right. Back at it here again. Thanks to Christy Wilhelmi for joining with us today to talk all about her new book, Bolting to Seed. And as I mentioned, we got all those great links down below. Go show some support to the channel and the show, and all of the guests coming here and joining with us, like Sophea. We got a link to Sophea's One Arizona Garden and her podcast, Sowing Green Things. So go definitely check those out. And like I said, go and leave them a comment on one of their posts or videos or something there, and let them know that you saw them here on the Let's Get Growing show. And again, everybody, thank you so much for being with us here today. Again, just a really great show, and some really great guests, and lots of awesome gardening things to talk about today. Also to let you know again too, we're back again tomorrow. Tomorrow, as I mentioned earlier, is our monthly gardening book club. Yes, that's right. Mr. MBC will be joining back with us again for the third Sunday of the month, our monthly gardening book club. And we've got Gary Pilarchik joining with us for our book club selection this month. Gary's book is Growing an Edible Landscape: How to Transform Your Outdoor Spaces into a Food Garden. And again, we had Gary on not too long ago, and we'll have him back again tomorrow to talk all about this just really, really awesome book. Actually, I got my copy of that right here. So, yep, we'll be talking all about that tomorrow on the show. And as well, like I said, we've got our green room coming up on a Monday night. We have got Jessica from Dream to Seed joining with us. Also, Chad from Down Home Backyard Gardening will be here with Natalie from The Fresh Princess, our co-host, for another fun green room show coming up this Monday evening. And as well, too, we got more shows in store for you. Of course, we've got next Saturday's Let's Get Growing show. We'll be back at it again. Same time, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And next Saturday, we'll have Grant Mikors joining with us, the Gardening Grant. We've had him on before. He joined us. He's been here on the show before, and just really fun guy, really fun content that he puts out about growing flowers and all sorts of other types of gardening out that he does as well too in his gardening spaces. So he'll be joining with us this next Saturday to dig into what he's been growing on since we saw him last time on the show. And then of course, for our Sunday edition of the show, I kind of teased this out just a little bit earlier, as we had someone from Norway in the audience with us today. Well, we're going to have our good friend Christopher Bransdal from Norway, along with our good buddy Kangstar from the pepper lovers community, joining with us next Sunday on the show. It's always great to catch up with them. Every couple of months we get them on the show with us. As I always mention too, is these guys were the guys who got me going on all of this sort of live streaming, interviewing, and doing all of that. They were my very first guests, if you will, to all of my live streaming. I used to do just me and the audience for a few years that I was doing there. And then we did a couple of first day of spring shows that we did for a couple of seasons there too, that kind of got me geared up to doing all of this sort of live streaming and interviewing all of these just wonderful garden luminaries, as my good friend MBC says, that we get to talk to from all over the gardening community, all over the world, in fact, like our good friend from Norway, Christopher. So they'll be back on the show with us next Sunday. So we'll dig in and talk with them about all the things that they've got growing on, and catch up and see how Christopher's grow room is going. And we also do have our green room show next week. You'll just have to stay tuned for Monday night, and we'll let you know who we got coming up for the green room for next week as well too. So again, we've got lots of great shows ahead for you all coming up here on the green room, or on the Let's Get Growing show, and all of our different shows. The Sunday edition, the green room, 3 days a weekend, 3-day weekend. And yeah, it's just been so much fun. We've been having a lot of great guests this year. Lots more coming your way. So again, everybody, I appreciate you all taking your time to be here with us today. I do want to mention here as well too, if you can, we've got to start mentioning this here towards the end of the show anyways, but we do really appreciate all of you who support our show in all sorts of ways. As I mentioned, getting to our guests and our guest links, and going over to their channels and leaving them comments and letting them know that you saw them here on the Let's Get Growing show. These are great free ways to support our show, as well as, leaving us comments and doing all that sort of stuff. But if you can, and you are able to leave us a donation to the show, it really does help with us being able to keep the show going and pay some of the bills around here that it takes to put on a show like this, as well as some of the things that we're looking to do as we move forward in future shows, and have some opportunities to be able to do some more bigger fun things here on the show. So if you do have the opportunity to be able to donate to the show, it is best to do a direct donation if you can. We do appreciate super chats and all of those other ways that you can donate through YouTube. But YouTube takes a good chunk of that stuff. So if you want to get away from having YouTube take up some of that donation you'd like to give us, definitely follow the links down below in the description to like Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, and you can get in there and leave a great donation. And we really, really appreciate all of that. I'm going to try to figure out some ways that we can do some things where, we can get maybe something towards the end on our outro that we do, or something, some way of acknowledging folks who have donated to the show, and do some shout outs for folks who are able to donate and all that as well too. So we really do appreciate anything and everything that you can. But again, there's all sorts of really great free ways of helping to support the show. Like one of the big ones is clicking that like button, the thumbs up. Doing that is always really great to help the YouTube algorithm get to see us and know that we've got folks here watching and all of that, and help push us out to other viewers, potential viewers that we could have for the show. Subscribing and hitting the bell notification also helps you not miss any of our upcoming episodes and guests that we have here on the show. And then definitely sharing with all of your garden friends out there. Let them know about our show. Let them know about all these wonderful, awesome guests that you see here on the show. And as I said, there's lots of great gardening podcasters and shows and live streams and all that sort of stuff. But I will tell you that you're not going to see a gardening show like the Let's Get Growing show out there. We are pretty unique in what we're able to do here, and all the guests that we get and all of that too. So definitely share with your friends. Let them know all about our 3-day gardening weekend here on the Let's Get Growing show. As I mentioned, we are here every Saturday and Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, as well as finishing up our 3-day weekend on Monday evenings now with the Green Room and our good friend Natalie from the Fresh Princess. And that's at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern for a nice Monday evening show. So again, come and check us out. We're going to have a great time here coming up on Monday evening with our guests this Monday evening. And we do some fun things, a little bit different. Each show is just a little bit different than the other, but still that great fun gardening talk content here where we all get to, as we talked with our guests today, we get to explore our inner garden nerd and get out all of those things that we want to talk about. I mean, it's just so much fun to be able to hang out with all of you who join with us live here on the show. So again, everybody, thank you so much for taking your time to be here with us. I really, really, truly appreciate it. And again, follow all the links down below. And also mention too that go and check out our sponsor, Ivy Organics, over at ivyorganic.com, and get some of that 3-in-1 plant guard. Use our promo code GROW10, GROW10, to save 10% off of your order there. And that's another great way to support our show as well too, and get a great gardening product for your garden shed for this upcoming growing season. Save 10% and support our sponsor of the show as well too. So again, everybody, it was awesome to have you all here with us, and I really hope to see you back here again tomorrow for our garden book club. We'll have Mr. MBC here with us live on the show, and Gary Pilarchik. It's always great to talk to him. Looking forward to all of that. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you then.
The ugliest plant in the world, but I love it.